Welcome back, folks, to CM.Works. Today, we're going to be working on the motor mounts, putting the rubbers in. And so I got everything. It's been about a week. It's gotten shipped here. The steel bushing I'm going to put in it and the rubber. We're going to start cutting them out. But first, we have to move back the cab. I've already moved the cab back quite a bit, but I moved it back far enough where the shifter ended up hitting the dash and I couldn't go any further. This time I went ahead and took out the shifter and I'm able to move it back further, which we're going to do now. We're going to just jack the front half of the cab is already on jack stands. All I got to do is jack up the back of it and roll the frame forward. And then I got to do that because I can't drill the holes for the rear motor mounts to go through the steel. And then we're going to work on that. We'll probably do the back first, and then because I want the engine to sit back sit back a little bit. So we'll do the back and then we'll add more to the front motor mount to get it to sit back further. So it'll be kind of lined up with the rear end. The rear end right now, it's I don't know the angle going to it, but I know we're going to take out the blocks on the rear end, and then so it'll just be leaf spring and then axle. Right now I think it's got a 3-inch block on the back, so we'll take those out. But we're gonna push the cab back, and we're trying to knock out these rubbers for the motor mounts. And then the next step is probably we're gonna try and get the engine started and running a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to take off the transmission before I start the engine, just because the transmission has no fluid in it, and I never greased the shaft going into the engine, and it's just the transmission needs more bolts for it and all that stuff. So I might just pull that out. We'll see what happens. I don't have a transmission stand, so it might be or transmission jack. It might be a little difficult because it's quite heavy. But other than that, if you guys could hit the subscribe button, like this video. I'm trying to pump out this content for you guys to see how this truck goes. So I'm going to set you up here. We'll move the cab back. First thing I'm going to do is jack the front end and turn this tire straight so it'll steer out straight first. Basically just got to be able to get the drill in here. It's still kind of tight. Alright guys, so this is what we're using here. This is 1/2 inch rubber. On the durometer it's 70. I like it. It's pretty strong, but it's still gonna have some flex to it. I think it's actually perfect for what we're working on. And then some steel rod. I was gonna do bronze, but I couldn't find any bronze material in this length. This is about 6 inches, I think. So hopefully it doesn't rust out too quick. I want to lube it up with a bunch of grease and stuff. But I wanted some bronze because I got, you can buy them, but they like come in already pre-cut sizes, like 3/4, 1 inch, and I think I'm going to need probably like 2 inches of it for each motor mount. So, but I couldn't find any of it, like a stock like that. So that's what we're working with. I'm gonna grease it up, make sure it's lubed up, and then after I get all of them in, I'm gonna have to measure what the length is and go buy bolts at the local Tractor Supply. Grade 8 bolts. I already have like 2-inch ones, but those aren't gonna be long enough, I don't think. So I'll keep you guys updated here. Alright, so I got these drilled out to a 1/2 inch. The bushing that's got to go through it is 3/4. So we're going to continue on to doing that. Just keep on drilling it out. I don't have any bigger drill bits. I have bigger drill bits, but they're not sharp. I'm going to try and sharpen some, but we'll see what happens on the bench grinder. So sometimes I get lucky and they turn out real good. Sometimes they don't. If it doesn't happen, I drilled the other side to... can't remember what size. I think it's I think I drilled it to, let's see here. Drilled the other side to 9/16. So with a end mill in that drill gun. I know that's like not the way to do it at all, but I'm just working with what I got. I may go buy some drill bits at Tractor Supply, the ones I need to drill it out to 3/4, but we'll see. Other than that, I'm gonna just keep on going with the end mill, nice and slow. Alright guys, so it's been a day or two since we worked on the truck. That evening I started working on the front loader mounts because I didn't have any drill bits to drill out the rest of the back, or to drill out for the rest of the motor mounts in the back. So I started taking the steering off because I'm going to have to take the steering off to drill out the front motor mounts to 3/4 inch. But we got drill bits. I guess we'll work on just finishing the back, and then, well, I haven't got bolts yet, so I'll have to do that. I'll probably just work on both. Well, man, I guess we'll work on the front. We'll get the front steering off. We'll drill those out, and then we'll drill the back out, and then go from there. Or no, I have to lift the front up. So we'll drill the back out, and then we'll do the front, because we got to lift the engine up off the motor mount to drill through it. And then, because bolt holes for the motor is like 1/2 inch, and I'm putting 3/4 inch round stock through the motor mounts I made to hold the rubber straight for the motor mounts. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll drill the back, then work on the front, and then go from there. So I was gonna start out with a 5/8 bit, but it's just grabbing way too much. So I'm just gonna go up to my 3/4 inch bit, and hopefully it doesn't grab so much. Alright, so that was really extremely difficult, as you've seen. That drill, rigid drill that I got is a 1/4 drill. It's a really good drill, but it doesn't have a speed selector on it, and so that thing just, you barely touch it, and it's just, and you got a sharp drill bit, that thing will just grab and go. I actually bent the drill bit a little bit. And I got a DeWalt drill bit, and those drill bits are good drill bits. They're sharp, but man, they bend really, really easily, which I don't know why. I guess they're not as strong or hardened as good as other drill bits, but like you get it in the bind a little bit, and the thing will just bend. I've had so many DeWalt drill bits do that to me. So, but I got to do the other side. This side's good. And then we got to figure out, I got to drill the other side, and then we got to figure out how much rubber we want to put in between the motor and the motor mount. So we'll get started on that. Whew, that stuff is hard to cut. Okay, there's one piece. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut another one because I'm gonna probably do an inch thick. Okay, there we go. We got 2 of them. What we'll do is cut out 2 more for the other side, and we'll go from there. Okay, so there it is, an inch tall, and you can see it's kind of squishing it pretty good. I don't know, we'll see how the front goes. What I'm gonna do is jack it up and put enough rubbers underneath it to get my other fuel filter in. And so we'll see how that goes here. Okay guys, so I got it jacked up, and we got a 2x4 underneath there and a piece of, I think that's almost a 1/2 inch thick piece of steel. Right now the engine's like at 3 degrees going back, and then what I did is I was looking at the measurement over here and it could go a little more. So what I did is just take the tape measure. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this side back here is not smashed down as much as in the front. And I just took my tape measure, ran it across here, and it's like barely, it's off like, man, like almost, it's under 1/8 of an inch, I would say. So I guess I could go a little more with the engine. We'll see here. Let me go ahead and see. I guess we could try our fuel filter and see what it's like. But man, that's a lot to put, a lot of rubber to put in the front. So we'll have to see what we want to do there. We might end up doing some more steel. Maybe add a couple more pieces of steel there to bring it up to the height we want. We'll see. Let's try the fuel filter and we'll go from there. Alright you guys, so the filter goes on easily, no problem with that. I'm going to leave it at 3 degrees. I think that's more than enough. I don't know, we'll see. It'll probably be a little less than that because on this here, I'm going to add a 1/4 inch steel like you're seeing on top of that piece of wood. I'll add another piece down here. We'll weld it on, and then we'll only have to have what's a 2x4, like 1.5 inch or something like that, 1.5 inch tall rubber, and the rubber's going to squish down, you know, probably, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch. I don't know. I'll have to look, but we'll do that, and then so it'll probably be a little less. I wanted it lower anyways, the engine to be lower, because I mean that's why I did this whole drop down piece here. I mean that's what it was, going straight across, as you guys know, like on the second video or third video we did, I think it was the third video, we made it going straight across. Well, I wanted it to drop down because I want the engine low as possible, so I don't have to raise the cab up that much to get the engine over it, or get the cab over the engine. So we're gonna go with this here, 1.5 inch tall rubber, and then another piece of 1/4 inch steel underneath. Right now we got to drill out the holes underneath those two right there. They got to be 3/4 inch holes, and then yeah, we'll get started on that, and we'll see here what we end up with. But yeah, I think that's a perfect location for it. I think it'll be fine. We'll see when we start the engine. I'm not really committed to it being that high. You know, we could add more rubber if needed. So that's what we're gonna get the engine started, get it running, and see what what the vibration and what the torque is when we turn the engine over. If it's minimum, I think we'll be fine with just inch thick rubber in the back and then inch and a half thick in the front. But other than that, that's what we're dealing with. And then the transmission, it's 3 degrees obviously going to the rear end. The rear end is going to come up 3 inches. So I'm not too worried. I don't think that the drive shaft is going to be it's not going to be much of an angle at all, probably. But other than that, we'll get started, and we'll drill those bottom holes out. I cut it out with a torch on one of those videos, and so hopefully I don't know if I could drill it out with a drill bit right away. I might have to get a end mill and a drill, and kind of like a really small end mill, and kind of just like clean it up, and then go in with a 3/4 inch drill bit. We'll see here, but yeah, we'll get started on that here. Alright guys, so the drill bit is just going to like bind up in there because it was cut with a torch. So I got an end mill here. It's actually broke off. I don't know if you can see it. It's a broken end mill, and I don't even need the tip. I just need the sides of it to cut the metal out. So we're going to put it in the drill here and see what we can do. It'd be better if I had like a little, what are they called? A little air, little air Dremel gun deal. That'd be a lot better. It spins a lot quicker. They actually sell like deburring bits or something like that. That's perfect for what I'm trying to do here. This end mill is not too. I mean, we're going to try it out. I've done it before with end mills, but we're going to see here. It might not be the best option for what we're trying to do here.
Ah, look at there. Perfect. That's what we want. Now we're getting the same as over here.
Alright, so back to it. All right, so we got it in. We only went with 3 or 4 pieces, 3 smaller ones, and then the 2.5 inch one in there, and then we got the piece of steel here. So what I'm gonna do is just drill from the bottom all the way through to the top, and then we'll insert our steel rod, and then we will have to put the bolt through. But I have to buy bolts because I don't have any that long. I added the other piece in there, the other 2 inch by 6, and it was almost at 5. It was like 4 degrees, but right now it's about 3 degrees, which we said we were gonna do, and I'm fine with it where it's at. So I'm gonna go ahead, get the front drilled, and then we will start working on drilling the back, because all the angles should be right, and it should drill right through and then pop right out the top of the motor mount. Other than that, right now we're good on everything, but and then we'll have to go on and do the trains mount. But the trains mount, I have to get a couple. I think I gotta go get some angle iron for it, because it bolts right off the side of the engine. And then I'll use that original transmission mount I had that goes up underneath, bolts on, goes up underneath. It's not going to bolt it in the same place because this transmission sits lower. So I'm going to probably have to drill some new holes or something like that. And then I think I have to move it back a little bit too. I don't know, we'll see. But right now that's where we're at. We got to drill those bolt holes, and then we will get. We'll probably we'll probably drill them, and then I may jack up the back a little bit and just readjust those mounts so they're straight and even, and then set it back down and drill those. I'm afraid to jack the motor up and throw the holes off. So I don't know, we'll see. And then I'm kind of worried about not having enough round stock. I should have bought 3 pieces, but because that one over there, it's going to take like 5 inches, and then we're going to have like maybe an inch left, which will be enough for the rear motor mounts, but then we still got to do the trains mount. So I don't know, we'll see. I got some small pipe over there. I don't know if it's 3/4. I think it's a little bigger than 3/4. I think it's almost 1 inch. But we might use that. I don't know. We'll see for the trains. But I don't know. I guess I could just put a bolt through it with a lock nut and kind of keep it a little loose. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to drill those front ones and then get that pipe inserted. We'll cut the pipe, insert it, measure the bolt we need, and then we'll move on to the back. So anyways, that's about it basically. I don't think we'll have to do anything else. I just threw a strap on the front of the engine to kind of just hold it down, because there's nothing, the engine's not bolted to anything right now, just sitting there. So that's what I went ahead and did, is I just threw that chain around from the transmission back. But that's about it. That's probably going to be done for the day. Yeah, that's it for the day. I got to get bolts. A 4.5 inch bolt for the front and 3 inch bolt for the back. So, but other than that, thanks for watching, you guys. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for everything you've followed along. And if you have any questions or comment, throw them down there in the comment section.